Alright, this is my new all-time favorite plugin, and I'm about to show you why. It's called Audulus 4, and I believe that something like this is the future of sound design. See, if you get into this stuff, I've explained this before, but eventually you kind of realize that the ideas that you're having no longer work in a synth like Serum or even an Ableton rack. You don't want to give up on your ideas, but you definitely don't want to start learning code. So this is where a plugin like this can be absolutely perfect. Instead of giving you oscillators, filters, modulators, effects, stuff like that, a modular plugin like Audulus goes one step back and gives you the building blocks for those things. In a video like this, I can show you how the plugin works, but also show you how some effects work internally at the same time. So when you load up the plugin, the workspace will be completely empty and no sound will come through it. So you'll need to set up the inputs and the outputs. We need two of each. They're called ADC and DAC. They need to be channels 0 and 1 for the left and right, and we need to bus them together. To combine two signals together, we use this node called sum. So we take the input from the left and the right, and why not grab another one just to keep things simple? And now the audio is going to come through. The best place to start is by searching online for how the effects work that already exist. So just for example, we can search for audio delay lock diagram. And eventually we find something that looks like this. These diagrams are very useful because this is how we reduce an effect down to its very fundamentals: delay, gain, and the rest is just signal flow. So with this one, you can see that it starts with a sum, then it goes into a delay, then the output of that splits off, going into a gain multiplier, then back into the first sum, and also into this second sum where it gets blended with the dry signal. So it starts with a sum, then it goes into a delay, and then a multiplier. So just like this, we can take the dry signal and then connect them one at a time. Now, this can't be an actual effect without movable parameters. So I'm going to drag in 3 knob nodes, and then I'm going to name them time, feedback, and mix. And this is real easy. For time, just connect it to time. For the feedback, that's where the gain multiplier goes. And for mix, now I get to show you what is probably my #1 favorite part of this plugin. So if we were in like plug data or reactor and we wanted to like represent a math operation, like for example, mixing between a dry and a wet signal, we would need a bunch of individual nodes for the multiplication, the addition, the individual numbers, etc. But in Audulus, all of that can be done very easily with just one node, and that is this one here called the expression node. If you inspect it, you're going to see this text box with a whole bunch of math functions underneath it. And for smoothly mixing in between two signals, there is one function called mix that does this job perfectly. If we drag it in, we can see that these 3 inputs have appeared. A and B are the signals we want to mix between, and X is where we send the knob. Why don't we rename these to knob, dry, and wet? So now this node has 3 inputs, one for the knob, one for the dry, and one for the wet. In the expression node, every time you type like a letter or a name or whatever, each one will show up here on the left as an input. And then any of the math that you type in here just gets taken care of for you. So the rest here is super easy. We can connect the mix knob to the knob input, the dry signal to the dry input, and then the delays output to the wet. Now we can connect this to the output, and now we can start messing around with these knobs and see if it works. So the mix is at 0, so here's our dry signal again. And that's it. Now we have a working delay. So that's Audulus. This is probably going to be my most used plugin going forward. It is also free. It is honestly very buggy, but nonetheless, I still recommend it. The only other thing is that there is no VST version. It's only AU. So if you're a Windows user, sorry. Aside from that, thanks for watching.